Okay, guys, so welcome everyone. Before we start, I just want to say, as usual, that this webinar has been created by the Weekly Fasting Group, which is a very big WhatsApp group of individuals who practice abstaining from food at least for 24 hours every week. And we have people from many different countries. Some people do it for spiritual reasons, others do it for health reasons, for the reasons to practice self-discipline, etc. It's really open-minded, no agenda. We do not preach anything here except for just gain this group spirit in practicing this 24-hour a week fasting. And in addition to that, we discuss different subjects related to different healing modalities, spirituality, and other things. So today we have two special guests coming from Thailand. And yeah, so we have Elena and we have Svetlana. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're going to talk about different healing modalities, about states of mind, about many interesting things. I look forward to hearing all this wisdom, to getting all this wisdom. But we will start with a short guided meditation led by either Elena or Svetlana. So you're going to lead it. Okay, Svetlana. So I'm muting myself. And then we'll just start with a short guided meditation, and then we will delve directly into the subject. So, Svetlana, over to you.
Before beginning the practice, please find a comfortable posture that will help keep your spine straight, either seated or laying down, wherever is comfortable. Next, notice where you place your hands. If seated, support them in your lap or by placing them gently, palms down on your knees. Now, breathe naturally as we shall begin the meditation. Imagine a dearly loved person sitting opposite you, and that a white light connects your heart to heart. Connect with the feelings of affection and warmth you have for them. Enjoy the feelings as they fill your body. Next, slowly focus on the phrase, "May I be well, happy, and peaceful." Feeling the warmth of loving kindness filling your body. And send these feelings to your friend. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. Breathing naturally as the light connects you, heart to heart. Repeat these phrases silently. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. Feel yourselves bathed in the warmth and light of loving kindness. Remember to breathe naturally as the white light connects you both, heart to heart. And continue. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. Next, remembering to breathe naturally, imagine the white light between you becoming a circle of light around you both. the light is bathing you in the warmth and peace of loving kindness that you radiate out to your surroundings, including all beings, from the smallest insect to the largest animal, and out into the universe. See yourself and your friends radiating the light of loving kindness out into infinity. May we be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Breathe naturally. Repeat these phrases silently. May we be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Now, enjoy the feelings of warmth and expansion in your body. Recognize the feelings that flow from your heart out into the universe, and the universal friendliness reflected in your own heart. As you continue to bath in the warmth of loving kindness, turn your attention to your body and notice your feelings and sensations. Notice what is observing your body and recognize that awareness. A peaceful, still part of you that witnesses everything without judgment. Breathe naturally and slowly open your eyes.
Thank you so much, Svetlana. Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you. Okay, guys, so we are back. And before we start, we've already had one webinar with both of you, but maybe you could just present yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about your background so that people know where you're coming from. If you could do that.
Yeah, shall I start?
Absolutely.
My name is, yes, thank you very much. Thanks again for having us. It's really a pleasure, and it's really so nice that you invited us.
It's my pleasure.
My name is Elena Subbotina, and I have been researching and studying nutrition for 20 years at least, and I have been interested in different diets, in different methods of detoxification. I have studied nutrition. I have underwent many courses and many types of diets. I started with Atkins diet. I've done all of those. I've done keto diet. I've tried all possible diet. I tried vegan diet, tried vegetarian and carnivore. So from all of that experience, I have come to a conclusion and to my own sort of system of nutrition and the science behind that. And I've studied as well how the nutrition influences the state of mind and emotions. And that greatly interests me nowadays because the functioning of microbiome is directly related to our well-being, to our state of mind, to our emotions, to our feelings, to our reactions. So I've been also studying psychology for a number of years. So my interest lies across psychology and nutrition. And of course, fasting is the practice that I'm passionate about and implement regularly. And since 2019, I'm really into this method of detoxification.
Thank you so much. Yeah, what you have just said, I already have a few questions to you about different kinds of diets and mind states because it fascinates me as well. So maybe later on we will talk about that.
I would love to answer them. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, Svetlana, so now please present yourself.
Yeah, my name is Svetlana. I am as well psychologist. I follow the Russian psychologist that has created his own method of technique of regain technique of, I'm trying to translate it because it's not officially in English, it's in Russian. I'm trying to find the correct translation for that. It would call a technique of regained control. And I'm in love with this method of doing sessions with clients because it's not about the just speaking and releasing the patient on the moment regarding his problem, because very often the modern psychology is about speaking. It's about giving the possibility to the client just to liberate himself. Maybe he is not having opportunity to do it with his beloved ones, so he's coming to the psychologist and he's taking his time 1 hour a week doing these sessions. And actually this for me it's a kind of addiction and not very like often so much helpful to change your life, to change your state of mind, to change your inner state. So what I've learned from the psychologist I was studied with is the possibility to really change your life by changing your state, your inner state. So what I am practicing with my clients, it's this technique of regaining control of your life by changing, by transformation, your inner state. Because the only result of any practice that we have, it's the life that we have in front of us. Either it's changing or not. And only by the results you can understand if the practice is a valid one. So as a psychologist, I'm practicing this type of therapy. It's a unique one. It's really it's a therapy that is has gathered different types of therapies. It's even kind of regression. So it's a little bit of everything, but it's really functioning. It's working. I see it on myself. I see it on my patients because I'm as well as a therapist. I'm going to another therapist. We have this like obligatory types of work that we have to do with ourselves as well. Then besides that, I have gone through different courses to become a yoga teacher. I have 750 hours of teachers training. It's about yoga, about as well karmas, meditation, a bit of Ayurveda, philosophy, a bit of everything that is about yogic life. Philosophy and practice. And I'm a practitioner. I'm not the theory person. I'm a practitioner. And as well, fasting is my passion because detoxification for me, as we were speaking with you, detoxification for me is not only about like not eating, not drinking, like not only about fasting, it's about mind detoxification, that it's all interconnected. But in any case, I've learned through many practices that only as a holistic approach, only uniting them, only mixing them, you are getting the best result ever. And of course, there are so many practices, so people can try them different, but they can find the best for them. But in any case, it's good if you are combining. Like this, you will get the quicker and the best result. So as if I would should like present myself, I would present myself as a holistic lifestyle coach, as I'm mixing different practices from my own experience and from what I have learned from different teachers, like in India, in Europe, in Italy, in Russia. I'm traveling a lot and I'm attending different courses as well now. For example, in Thailand, I'm practicing yoga with a extraordinary teacher, and I'm grateful to be here because I'm using this time not only for work but as well for my own practice.
Mm.
Yeah, as holistic lifestyle coach and holistic approach, for me it's the best that should be practiced by everyone.
Wow, wow, that's so impressive. Svetlana, and can you offer this therapy, this psychotherapy from this Russian psychologist online, or it should be just face to face in the same room?
I'm practicing it usually online.
Mm-hmm.
We are even when we were studying, we were doing a lot of practices with different students throughout the world. It was in Russian, but
Yes.
in any case, yeah. And I'm practicing it online. Absolutely,
Ah,
it's
so it works well. It works well.
absolutely, yeah. It's usually session of more or less two. Sometimes, if it is a very important issue, it can be even 3 hours. So we don't care about time. We care
Mm-hmm.
about the result of the in that moment, and
I
it's
see.
very and it's really very challenging for the mind, because it's going the transformation in that moment, and it's
Yeah.
impressive because it works. It really works with all my friends, colleagues, clients that I see that it works. Yeah, so
Amazing.
absolutely I give these sessions online.
Amazing. Does this method also contain certain practices that the person can do by themselves, or the therapist is required there?
You know what is happening, having like me practice different types of having experienced different instruments myself, like different types of instruments. When I say a person, I usually add something like a suggestion, and kind of what person can do afterwards, or
Mm-hmm.
what is happening right now, what he should apply to his life. It's not only about the session and we close. It's about kind of life coaching as well, like
Mm.
all. But in the moment, and of course, we are working with them psychological field, let us call it like this, because what is happening with people, we are very much involved when we are when we have like emotions, when we have circumstances, issues, we're involved. This technique is giving to you the possibility to go out
Mm-hmm.
and to become an observer.
Okay.
And by this, with a very mild and soft technique, not ruining and not damaging the psychological, because it can be delicate, as well. The person can get into trauma. So being an observer, it's much easier to see what is happening without getting into trauma, because you are like watching a movie kind of,
Right.
and you're working with your psychological field and you see how you are transforming it, because it's also about the feelings that you are observing, but then you are integrating into your body. You know that everything that is happening in our life, we are integrating through our body. Like
Mm-hmm.
dispenser, whoever is telling that you can create your own reality by your state,
Yeah.
right? And how you feel. So it's about that. You are creating new sensations, absolutely new, that is creating your future. Like you are
Mm.
putting new seeds that definitely will grow. And if you are doing it from time to time, so you're liberating your mind from old patterns on the psychological level. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's
I
like
so I can see
it's
that.
about inner freedom, that we can connect to the mind as well, to psychological field.
Yeah, so that's why probably the therapist is needed there because of those reasons. Like it's not something the person can do by themselves, right? Or
No, yeah, sorry, I didn't get correctly your question from the beginning. Absolutely, the therapist here is very important, because what is happening with the person's mind, we are very, even me as a therapist, when I have to work with myself and I see that something is going up maybe, and I want to work it out, I want to explore what is happening, I go to another therapist, because I know that I will not go deeper. Our mind is blocking us. Our mind wants to stay in the same comfort zone,
Mhm.
and only by a person who knows from a side what is happening, like he is an observer, you are still there, you are still an observer, but you do not have the bigger picture. Bigger
Yeah,
picture always has someone that is not involved. So therapist is very important in this technique,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. It sounds fascinating. We're going to talk more about that. Absolutely. Okay, so now let's delve into this fascinating subject because you told me that you were going to talk about inner freedom and its connection to different other factors. So please, I have no idea what you're going to talk about. I will be just listening
You
and
know,
asking questions.
this subject, it's so huge that you do not know from where to start and where to from where to end,
Yeah,
because it's endless. It's
right.
endless. The only thing that we were thinking to share is as well our own experience.
Yeah.
Where we are right now, years ago, we were not here, absolutely. And
Mm,
what brought me at my where I am now, right now, first of all, it's yoga and shatkarmas. I wanted to speak about shatkarmas, that are cleansing practices, yogic cleansing practices that are helping me even now when I'm exiting fasting. As
wow.
I tried different of them, and I saw how they are working, what they are doing with my body as well while I'm exiting fasting, I'm using some of them
Mm,
from time to time,
mhm.
and it's very helpful because they these shatkarmas are helpful to channelize the flow of prana, for example, in it's helping to clean the blockages of nadis, that is different channels that we have, masculine, feminine. So it's helping you to clean the blockages,
And how do you do that?
blockages. For example, um, there is one of the practice that is called kunjala.
Mhm.
So there are plenty of them. I will share with you my own experience, what really showed to me another world. I have been to ashram in India for a month some years ago, and we every morning we had this practice at 4:30 in the morning. We were doing kunjala all together, like 50 people. It's about drinking the a little bit salty water, like, and vomiting it.
Mm,
Maybe
okay.
it's
Yeah, I
not
heard of it.
it doesn't sound very pretty, but
Mhm.
uh, like when you are doing that, you do not notice immediately the results. The results are coming afterwards, when you see that something has changed in your life, and there you see the result.
Mm,
So after we had done that for a month, and what is happening, for example, this kunjala is the doctor who was leading us. He was not only yogic person, but he was as well a doctor in the clinic. So I'm surrounded by doctors who are thinking in a different way.
wow.
And they are where they are teaching they were teaching me how to combine the modern medicine and the traditional like ancient traditions. And
Mhm.
by combining, you have to use everything in life, but in your own like thoughtful way. And it's good to think what you're doing, not because you were suggested, but because you know from where it's coming and why you are doing and what it can heal, so to say. So by doing that kunjala, what is happening while you are kind of vomiting, it's cleansing not only your digestive system, not only your stomach, but as well your lungs.
Mm,
from mucus, and when you are cleansing, like when you are doing these movements, like while vomiting, so to say, from the stomach, from intestine, you know that the hips are the place where all of us, all the people, have emotional blockages. And all these small movements that for you are not seen, they are very soft and not noticeable, still they are working. And if you are doing them constantly, you are releasing. These blockages are kind of releasing. And then we, of course, meditation, we were doing yoga nidra, we were doing trataka, when you are focusing your attention on different subjects, or on your nose, on your third eye. And all these practices, what happened to me after I came back from India, just I want to share, maybe someone is that is having problems with the lungs can try Kunjala, and they can see if the mucus is going out. So it's the cleansing, it's the liberation. It's not about what we are going to get, but like what is the inner freedom that when we are liberating from what we do not need. When we liberate from what we do not need, we're already like free.
Absolutely.
It's a kind of inner freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it on the emotional release, what is happening? I will share a very intimate thing with you. I was thinking to share it with you or not to share, but I was thinking maybe it can help to someone, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I have my own family story where I was not speaking with my father like for 16 years. And the day after I came from India, he called me.
Wow.
You know that sometimes what is happening in our life, it's a reaction of how you feel.
Yeah.
Your energy, your emotions, and people always react on how you transmit, what you transmit. And if you are cleaning yourself from inside, from emotional blockages, from psychological blockages, from toxins, your energy starts to flow differently, and people start to react on you differently.
Right.
Like having received this call for me the day after I came from India, maybe it is a coincidence, but I definitely know that it is not, because it cannot be like I released a lot of things that I didn't know they existed inside me. You know, there was something happening. And energy flow in such a way that I even did a split after I came back. Before in yoga, split I was not doing. So split is as well about the blockages, the physical blockages or emotional blockages. And when you are releasing them, the energy is flowing and you are doing more things on physical level, not only on emotional level. So what I was sharing, what I wanted to share with people, it's to either to find a teacher, either to learn about shatkarmas, because by myself I was doing this path, learning first by myself and trying on my body what is happening doing these shatkarmas. There are a lot of as well teachers, very good teachers that can show what that can suggest what is the best for a certain situation, certain person in a certain health condition, because not everything is can be done by everyone. But in any case, you should try, because fasting is very good. I adore fasting, but when I approach fasting, I did my path with shatkarmas and yogic practices, because yoga itself is as well about detoxification. Even the normal yogic practice, it's already the detoxification from toxins when you're sweating, you know. So yeah, it's about, you know, inner freedom. It's a very peaceful expression and you do not know where to start. But for me, it's about releasing. And it's about consciousness, releasing of physical, emotional, and psychological and whatever kind of blockages you may have. By releasing, you gain this inner freedom of hearing yourself, like being in contact with yourself when everything is interconnected, like mind, soul, because it's about energy, you know, and you're getting to be more spiritual as well. Energy is growing, the level of energy is growing, and your vibrations kind of growing, and your life is changing. You cannot, it's impossible not to notice the life change. Impossible.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, what I wanted to share for the first part, it's yogic practices. It's very large topic, but I just,
I know.
I'm planting the seeds.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Elena, so what does it, so did you have any thoughts about this subject of inner freedom through through detox, cleansing, etc.?
Of course, this is the topic that I'm interested in since I know myself. You know, the inner freedom excites me so much, and I'm sure that this is a very important issue for a lot of people because that's what we want. We want to feel free, we want to experience joy, peace of mind, happiness. We want to empty our mind. To me, the inner freedom is exactly like Svetlana said, is gained on many levels, starting from the body, cleansing, detoxifying, fasting, releasing a lot of, everything what the body doesn't need. Then we go to a level of emotions. We deal with emotions, we bring them to balance. Then we go to the level of mind, and then the psychology comes into play because the level of mind is very important one. Mind can be very tricky, and since our childhood we have so many limiting beliefs that are generally inserted in us just from everywhere, by our parents, by the society, by the culture, by the religion. And to have an approach to really master the technique of getting rid of these limiting beliefs is very important step to inner freedom, to emptying your mind, to come to the space, as Svetlana said, we are free, we are we are in our essence, we are free, we're happy, but these are these beliefs, that blockages that prevent us from feeling who we truly are. So the psychology is very important here, which comes into play when we implement our fasting programs. We always bring the element of psychology into our program to help to cleanse the emotions, to cleanse the mind, to empty mind, to release the patterns, the negative patterns. Also, negative habits that are destroying the body as well are also included here. We need to release that all in order to continue living in a way that we do not accumulate them further on. So it's very important to also with our programs to be very conscious of the process and take the tools that are given in order to continue after the program, to continue with the purification, with mindfulness journal that we present during our retreats and during the online programs. So it's an interesting thing that when we fast, we stop chewing. And when we stop chewing is what we have since our childhood as a calming and soothing activity for the baby, so that the baby stays calm, and it's a relaxing sort of technique. But when we start fasting, we stop chewing, and so from there a lot of psychological patterns come, because we are not anymore soothing ourselves, we are not calming ourselves down with this, with food, with actually the physical, the chewing thing that really calms us down, as science says. So when we fast, a lot of things come up, a lot of unresolved issues come up. So the cleansing happens on many levels especially while fasting. Because if you're detoxing, you might have some food, you might have smoothies, you still have something in your mouth. So that helps you to suppress the emotions that come up. But when you fast, the emotions come up raw, they come up 10 times more. And in this moment, the importance of psychological support is paramount in this case, because then you can release much more than just the toxins from the body. You can release the patterns, you can get rid of the old habits, you can reprogram yourself because you have the space that comes up, so you can work under the guidance of therapists to reprogram yourself, to gain new habits, to put them in your mind, and to come up out of the program completely as a new person. So that's how it can be combined: detoxification, fasting, psychological cleansing, emotional cleansing, and so on.
Yeah, it's like, I liked what I said, Elena, about space. Yeah, you're liberating the space in your mind, in your body, to choose, like it's inner freedom to choose what's next. It's a very interesting point.
Right, girls. And tell me, so when you talk about a fasting program, is it a program that you lead together, or you work separately with people? Like, because Elena mentioned the fasting program, so could you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yes, I can proceed with the description of the program. We have created together, and together with Dr. Filonov, we have created an online program.
Okay.
That we offer, and we offer an option with a guided, curated support from us. The program includes, and also from Dr. Filonov, and the program includes many elements that I just mentioned. Actually, it includes detoxification, internal organs cleansing, preparation for fasting, then it includes fasting, and it includes practices that support fasting, the psychological practices, the guidance from us as curators, personal guidance. You know, we go online, we talk, we chat through the chat. So, and Dr. Filonov gives conversations and Q&As regularly during this program. And we combine all these practices that were mentioned here. We combine yogic practices, holistic practices, Ayurvedic treatments. We implement psychological various techniques to make this program really a tool, really a way to liberate yourself, a way to inner freedom. And at the end of the program, our clients get the tools how to continue further. And as a result of the program, they acquire this space within themselves, physical space, psychological space, emotional space, to reprogram and become more, aware of their choices, and, choose in favor of the healthier ones, and restructure their life basically. So it's a transformational program.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we will talk about that more towards the end of this program, but I just wanted to clarify because it wasn't clear to me. Okay, so maybe someone who of the we have just two participants today, so maybe some of you have any questions. We have Raju, we have Ravital. You're welcome to unmute yourself.
What is the ideal diet and why? I love this question.
Yeah, hey, Ravital.
We were missing you.
Yeah. Nice to see you again. Yeah, I really enjoyed the last talk, and psychology and health issues. That also interests me. I also studied psychology. I'm also interested in all kinds of, I'm learning all the time. I come practically to every webinar.
Right. You also ask lots of questions, which is very good.
Yeah, because it's really fascinating to learn from very interesting people that have experience. So that's actually my question. Elena, you said you have a lot of experience with different kinds of diets. So, you
That's
know,
correct.
maybe, insights after so much experience. What you know, what I mean, best thing is eventually at the end of the day is breatharian, not to eat at all. I know, but
I wouldn't say that. We're still in our physical body, and physical body is designed to be fed, you know, so it's the way we are structured. The body needs food, and there are, of course, people who supposedly don't eat and drink, but I've never met them, so I cannot speak from my experience about that. I tried a lot of different diets indeed, and experimented very yeah, for a very long time with my body. And I tried the extreme diets, I have to say, like, you know, keto diet, which completely eliminates carbohydrates. I tried that. And I tried also the low fat diet, which has carbohydrates but eliminates fat completely. I tried vegan diet for a long time, and I was in Thailand, so it was very favorable. You know, I had a lot of fruits and vegetables. What I have to say is that what really helped me to figure out what kind of diet this body needs, because everybody is individual, everybody has its own needs and its own amount of nutrients and vitamins and micro elements that this body needs. So what helped me a lot is fasting, because during fasting my taste buds were completely cleaned up. I wasn't eating, so I had no taste in my mouth. And after that you come up very aware about what your body needs. You come up out of the diet, you come up very clean, and you're really receptive, and you can really hear what your body needs. And actually, after fasting, I stopped all these extreme diets, I have to say, because they were mostly dictated by the mind. You know, like for instance, the keto diet, you cannot do it long because your body really needs carbohydrates, and overconsumption of protein leads to not very healthy conditions, you know, and it's really proven. It's a really famous diet now, and you know, it does give you energy, it does give you clarity of mind, it has effects. It has effects, I have to say, but at the end of the day, you cannot do it long, and you have to always think that the body is designed to have array of, you know, a variety of nutrients, a variety of vitamins, and each body is very different, and each body has different physical abilities and different, you know, different needs, and each body has its own mind. So it's one, you know, person, it's one whole. So you have to really see individually and really listen to your body. What does it need right now? But regularly a normal person cannot do it, because, you know, because the taste buds are not clean. We are over consuming substances and foods that you know, like coffee, like pepper, like sugar, that make us hyper, that make us energetic, hyper.
Stimulants,
Yes.
yeah.
And so these foods, they sort of, they pollute your taste buds. You do not feel clean tastes anymore. You need stimulants. We are overstimulated. It's a problem of everyone. We are overstimulated, not only with computers, with fast life, but also with diet. And overstimulating foods, they you know, they completely eliminate your perception, your, you know, your instinct. What does my body need now? You know, that's the point. At the end of the day, I came to a sort of flexitarian diet. I do not eat meat or fish because my body doesn't crave it. But if I, and I don't just sort of, it's easier for me not to, I don't crave it. But if I feel like eating eggs, which happens sometimes, I would give my body this, opportunity, because I know like egg yolks contains a lot of nutrients like vitamin B and a lot of zinc, for instance. So I would do that, and I really listen to what my body needs. And if I do not want to eat, I would not eat, because we're also conditioned to eat 3 times a day, to have snacks, to have the coffee in the morning. It's all our mind, that it's patterns from society, from our parents, from the books and all of that. But the body doesn't really need that. I usually eat once a day, maybe one and a half time a day, and it's really sufficient. So it's actually, I only eat what I really want, and that's it. And sometimes it could be something sweet, but then I know that my body really needs it right now. And it's easy to stay in shape that way. What about you?
Same for me, because I'm a vegetarian. I do not eat meat, I do not eat fish, but it's not because my mind has chosen it. Once I started to practice yoga, I came back from India, and I couldn't come back to the same life that I had before, because I didn't feel it. It was like calling to do something different. I still didn't know how to, because my patterns were old ones. I didn't create new ones. But then I gave to myself time to get used and to elaborate and to find out what my body can eat, like in a new life, my new life. So when I was going to, for example, I gave to myself, I remember I came from India, I said, I don't want to eat this, but what I will eat, I don't know what to eat if not meat and fish. And I gave myself 1 month to see how it will work for me. So I started to eat differently, like being aware of what I want to eat. And I started to create new dishes that I was not even thinking about before, because we're getting used to do the same things, always the same things, like inertia, right? You are going to a supermarket, for example, and you always buy the same things. Did you notice? And when you start think differently, you notice that there are new things out there for you, but you have never noticed them on the shelves. So it's all about patterns, old patterns. So when I found out that I really still alive after a month without meat and fish, another month, and my body was feeling good. I was feeling so much energy. Now I'm since 6 years I'm not eating animal proteins. Okay, I'm not vegan. I'm not consuming dairy actually, but sometimes since 2 years eggs came into my life. I'm traveling a lot, and very often there was nothing to eat, only eggs in some places. And I said, okay, let's try. And I saw that my body actually do not reject it. So I'm going as well with the flow. I do not consume like dead bodies, as I say, the bodies that have nervous system or had eyes, but still I'm not vegan, I have to say. But in my diet there are a lot of fruits, vegetables, and I'm going with what my body is asking me. I'm fasting now regularly once a week, and by this you really, like Elena said, you are giving yourself the possibility to listen to your body. Yesterday it happened to me that I didn't want to eat. It was strange, but I didn't want, so I didn't push myself. It was not fasting. Maybe I took in the evening some coconut, some fruits, but it was something that I didn't feel to eat, and I was not eating. So my diet is impulse diet, but I'm vegetarian.
It's like intuitive diet mostly. It's like you listen to your intuition. So it's intuitive eating, I would say. You feel, you go inside, you tune in with your body, and you really ask your body, what does it need right now? What does it feel? How does it feel? What kind of nutrients it lacks at this moment? So it's like intuitive mostly. You're in contact with yourself. You're in contact with your body. So
I cannot say, for example, that I'm perfect, that I'm ideal. I have ideal diet. Sometimes I'm eating sweets, I have to say, but I know that I'm not exaggerating. I know that I'm very, when you are fasting regularly, we are over intoxicated, overstimulated. But when you are fasting regularly, you give to your body the possibility to eliminate what is not needed. Yes, I understand that these are still patterns of my mind. These are still psychological maybe aspects that are coming up. I'm aware of it. I'm not a perfect person, I'm still a person. I'm human. But I know that with the regular fasting, I'm kind of balancing. So this is my instrument for life. This is for sure. And what we are transmitting, it's just to not just to know these instruments, but to implement into your daily life without stress. Because when you understand that it can be normal, that it is normal, you're surrounded by like-minded people. I created as well community in between my friends, and they are fasting as well with me. I would never think even that they would do it, but they are fasting with me regularly. And people who 6 months ago were looking at me with big eyes, like, really? Now they are fasting, because when you are transmitting this, and when you are by your example, you're feeling good. Your life is like they observing it, and it is something that it's kind of an example as well, because you look good, you feel good, you have a lot of energy. I'm plenty of energy. So people start looking at you and taking it as an example for themselves and implement with less doubts. Let's say not doubts, but less doubts, because the society is against official society is against fasting still.
The formal.
Yeah, but when people are seeing you and you are always there speaking about that, and you feel good, and you are traveling, and you are it's like full energy person, in a month, in a half a year, in a year, they will be with you. And I'm like bringing an example of me into this society. I think this is the best.
Yeah.
So a personal example.
Yeah, this is what works.
What do you think about raw vegan? I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I know Dr. Filonov is against it. But I don't know.
Look, how are you feeling? What is happening like with you while doing this diet? How are you feeling? What is your mood? Are you craving things?
Yeah, sometimes I miss the cooked savory, spicy, but it's gradual, as it's less and less. Of course, as the body cleanses, and then you don't have these toxins, you need it less and less, but it's more the mind than the body. So, but I remember that Dr. Filonov said that it's not healthy, it could affect your liver. He's really against it. But then, he's also a person, and he eats himself. He eats, so sometimes it doesn't make sense. If you don't intoxify yourself in the first place, you don't need to detox. I don't know. We live in a society where there are too many toxins. That's the problem. That's why we have to detox. But maybe we have a lifestyle that we don't intoxify ourselves, and we don't have to detox. Everybody's talking about detoxification.
Only thing that I can say to you, just be kind to yourself, because your body really knows what he needs. Because when I became vegetarian, it was not my mind. in my family there were vegetarians, but I was never thinking about that because my mind, like, it was from inside. So whatever you are eating or not eating, it has to come from inside. Otherwise, it will be always a battle with your mind.
Yeah, the thing is that you have to know whether this is a real need of the body or is it craving. That's hard to tell.
I'm not craving for meat, for example. So even if it is around, I'm not craving for anything that I'm not, for example, like fish, I'm not craving for it. And I don't know if my body needs it or doesn't need, but I'm not craving. So I'm I'm thinking it's about body. When you cleanse, and it's good to continue to detox and it's good to continue to fast, because the more you do these practices, the more you are in contact with yourself and less question you have for yourself, if it is mind or your body.
Yeah.
For example, after fasting, I stopped using the toothpaste. Yes, I didn't want to use anything, like, it was not mind. My body, I tried, and I understand this is not for me anymore, because my body said nope. And it was very strict for me. Like for 2 months, I was washing only with toothbrush because I didn't know with what to wash. And then step by step, I discovered, I started to do by myself as well. For my body, I'm not using the shower gel from the shop because I don't want anymore. And it was not my mind, it was from inside, everything that is coming from inside. But these things from inside are coming while you are detoxifying your body, purifying your body, healing your body, fasting, whatever. And step by step, it will, your body will speak with you more clearly, each time more clearly. Just be kind to yourself, give yourself time. For years and years where we're living differently, it's normal that you cannot change your life in one day. It's normally like you were born with this. Old patterns sometimes are very hard to break.
Yes, as there's a saying.
If it works for you, if you feel good, if you feel fresh, if you don't crave too much, then it's fine. And what kind of climate are you living in? Which country are you in?
Middle East.
Israel.
So
it's hot, right? The climate is hot, and
there are
usually
a lot of fruit and vegetables, a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables.
And usually, even I can see for my body, when I'm in Thailand, I really do not want to eat much cooked food or anything. You want to eat fruits, vegetables. And it's also with your climate, it's much more easy and it's better for the body to be raw vegan. I totally agree with you. That's, it's also climate based, because Dr. Filonov is from Siberia. And when it's minus 40 minus 40 for several months, then
you want
some meat or whatever he eats, just to warm up yourself, because it's really individual, but climate plays a big role here as well.
Elena, I wanted to ask you about dairy. Why do you think in Ayurveda or in Indian cooking, dairy is considered such an important component? And what's your personal attitude to dairy? Do you consume it? Because Svetlana told me that she does not consume it. But what about you?
I do not consume commercial dairy. That's correct, because commercial dairy causes a lot of array of diseases. It causes mucus. It causes a lot, because as we all know, it's been so much information on the internet lately and in the movies, how the commercial dairy is treated, how the cows are treated. I can tell you the process if you want. It's really very ugly, because they're fed with corn, and corn is genetically manipulated, only corn. So this corn, it cannot be digested. So they basically make a hole in the stomach in order to help them digest it manually. Then they put antibiotics into cows. Then the cow milk becomes red or green because of these antibiotics. Then they bleach this milk. Then they put the bleach into it, so milk becomes white. So
Unbelievable.
speaking of this kind of milk, and then they make cheese or whatever, especially in the States, that's the process largely. I even went, accidentally when I went by this farm and I saw these cows in the middle of the desert in horrible conditions, but that's commercial milk.
Mhm.
It's absolutely very bad to consume, because as I just described the process, you can make conclusions, right? It's antibiotics, then it's bleaching to make it white.
Yeah.
So and it's a lot of chemicals, and it's GMOs and everything, and of course it's a lot of adrenaline, because these cows are being slaughtered, and they live in a very bad conditions, so they produce a lot of adrenaline that goes into their blood, and from the blood it goes to the milk. So that's my attitude basically to commercial dairy, and it's just of course it's very bad from the point of view of nutrition, but also it's very bad from the ethical point of view, how they treat all these animals. But in India it's a completely different case, and it's a totally different story, because cows in India are holy animals. Cows are respected. They are they sing mantras to the cows, they pet them, they honor them, they decorate them, they worship them, they don't kill them. So this milk from the cows, fresh milk, not pasteurized, because pasteurization kills all of the good stuff which is in the milk, which are enzymes. And cow milk has a lot of fresh milk from the cow. It has a lot of very beneficial enzymes, but fresh. It has to be fresh, not pasteurized, not treated with heat, like at home. And in this case, it can be considered even as medicine, because this type of milk, it has really powerful enzymes. It has new micronutrients. It has various good things for the body. And this type of milk is a medicine, because all of this, what I just mentioned. In Ayurveda, of course, it comes from the culture, it comes from the tradition. They respect the cows, and the cow milk is considered holy, and they treat them this way. And it does have, if you look into the chemical, composition of the cow milk, fresh, then you see obviously the enzymes and all these good things that it has. And some things are unique. It has, for instance, vitamin K, and vitamin K is very important vitamin for your body. It helps produce other important antioxidants, like glutathione is also produced with the help of vitamin K, and vitamin K is abundant in the fresh, not treated, not pasteurized cow milk. It's abundant there, so that's why it's a medicine by itself, and a lot of other nutrients as well, and so the enzymes, as I said. So that's why Ayurveda, that they treat this milk as a medicine, exactly like that. And especially ghee, of course, because ghee is a clarified butter, so they remove the lactose out of the out of butter, so it's clarified. And they respect ghee, and they treat a lot of illnesses with ghee. And it's it's butter, it's oil. It has to do with oiling the body from inside, and they put ghee everywhere. It's a spoon of ghee with every meal is is the tradition there. So
Elena,
I'm consuming.
I love ghee.
Me too.
Ghee is awesome.
Elena, and so if you had now an access to the unpasteurized milk or milk products from happy cows, would you consume it? Like, would you include it in your diet?
I have to, right now, I lost the taste for milk. I used to consume this type of milk, because when I was living in Amsterdam, I specifically ordered this from the farmers, organic farmers. They treat cows with respect, and they brought me this milk, and I made kefir from it using the kefir,
Microorganisms. Yeah.
There's grains, kefir grains,
Yeah.
microorganisms. So I made this kefir, and it was really, at that time I needed that. My body craved that for probiotics, prebiotics. I really wanted that. So for a while, and it was in Holland, this was a cold climate, I did this golden milk with turmeric and pepper and this milk, and I just lightly warmed it up. So it was really good for me, and it was good for my joints. With golden milk is very good for joints. But with my practices and things that I've been doing, I just lost the taste for it, and my body doesn't want it anymore at this moment. But you never know, maybe who knows what happens next. But at this moment I just don't need that. I don't want that. And I really try to be intuitive and just give my body what it wants. It just wants coconut water at the moment. So because we're here in Thailand and it's hot and defined by the climate as well. So but with milk it's like that.
What about cooked vegetables like rice and things like that?
Rice, I'm not very good with grains and carbs, because I also had done a lot of research on grains, and especially on modern grains, and especially the wheat, how it is grown nowadays, the wheat products, and how it is heavily pesticide, because we exhausted our soil through the centuries. Back in the days when the soil was, we just had one time, we had this harvest, and we would make bread, and then we would use it. But now they harvest wheat every month, so the soil is completely exhausted, and the amount of pesticide that is used, and the hormones and the GMOs to grow it fast, it's astonishing. So nowadays it's the grains, actually all of the grains, I'm sort of not very and lots of grains, they have leptins, and these are the allergens that that cause allergies, like mostly grains have that. So I'm not very big on grains, although like buckwheat, because I'm Russian, so I think it's culturally defined, but like buckwheat flour, or buckwheat sort of I don't know, some porridge, I would probably eat, but not now, because I'm in Thailand, so I don't feel like eating porridge nowadays. It's hot. It's very hot. The climate defines a lot how we eat, in my opinion.
When it's cold, you want something warm.
When it's cold, like in Holland, for instance, when it gets really rainy and cold, and we have, I love eating seasonal vegetables and local, so it's really key as well. So I don't eat mangoes in the Netherlands, because they are flown from so far away, and how we in Europe now consider this flights and the pollution that they bring. So we eat locally, the conscious, come to conscious consuming, eating locally. So I wouldn't eat mangoes in Holland, and I wouldn't even crave them. I would eat buckwheat in Holland, and I would eat pumpkins, because we grow lots of pumpkins, and like I would steam them, and that would be my food. So with olive oil, for instance, I would eat steamed vegetables in the colder climates for sure, because my body, it's quite sick. Yeah,
avocados.
Avocados I love everywhere. Avocados are very good, because we need fat. We need good fats for the body. That's for sure. Yeah. We need fats for the absorption of the vitamins, because without fats, some of the vitamins cannot be absorbed by the body.
Yeah. Okay, Svetlana, I want to kind of get back to our main subject, like the inner freedom. And I wanted to ask, because you mentioned that the technique that you have learned from this Russian psychologist includes emotional cleanse. Now, how exactly does it happen? Because a person might live with an emotional charge for many years. And how does it work that you actually can clean this emotional charge through the therapy? How exactly it happens? What is the mechanism?
It's about bringing client to become an observer of the emotional state. And it's we are using as well some regressive techniques
Okay.
And we are transforming these emotions directly with the client. He's transforming himself, and he is by transforming, he's releasing these emotional blocks, and he's recreating new emotions instead of the old ones. So this is
Mhm.
like quick response. And by having like these new emotions, new state concerning the issue, the person is creating, like planting seeds of new reality that he is constructing uh, for this or that type of issue that he is having. It's like getting out, finally getting out and noticing what really happens. And doesn't mean that immediately will be easier. It's like we are finally, we give to us the possibility when we are in the treatment, in this kind of psychological treatment, to see the evidence from a side, not to be involved, totally involved. And
Yeah.
because when we are going to a normal classic therapist, we're always there, we're always chewing the same ideas, we're always chewing the same emotions, but nothing is happening.
Mhm.
And with the technique of self regain control, regain control technique, you are going out, you're seeing what is happening, you're transforming the state. Really, it happened to me, that recently I had an issue that pumped up. I went to a therapist, my friend, my colleague, and by generating new state inside of me, new emotions regarding the topic, things started to change
Mm.
totally. Because when we are we are feeling, we have these different emotions from what we had before, we create a new reality in front of us
Mhm.
by having this new state inside of us. We're like kind of transmitting to the reality our new state, and reality is responding in a new way.
Mm.
And
Okay.
you're noticing that. And I noticed about my mind as well. My mind was used still to old pattern.
Yeah.
My emotions were new, but my mind still had old pattern, and I was like kind of even observing this
Mhm.
play. This is kind of play as well in between our mind and state. And do we want to be attached to chew the emotion, the old emotion, to play with it? And because this is as well the inner freedom to choose, either you want to continue to suffer,
Mhm.
or you really have this courage to go and follow your new state and to create something new with this new state. It's
Mm.
about really, you have this freedom once you were shown, once you had the possibility to transform, to get rid, to release. It's up to you from that moment to choose either to go for the old reality because you
Mhm.
get used, either
Yeah.
to choose a new reality. But you have this inner freedom to choose. You were released.
Okay. Okay. And tell me, Svetlana, and during this therapy, do you actually return the patient mentally to the original event that created the trauma or the psychological trauma, or it is done from the present time? I mean, do you ask them to go back and to kind of to get back all those visions and sensations and everything, like kind of re-experience what happened, or it is all done from now?
You know that psychological field, it's very interesting uh, map
Hmm.
of what is happening in our life. And very often, what has happened has nothing to do with the source.
Hmm.
And we are going to the source.
Okay.
And understanding from where it really happened, why it's happening. It's not what is happening, but why it's happening. It's like you open your eyes, like, oh, I see why it's happening,
Yeah.
And you see things with a different perspective, from the different perspective. Very often it's like what we chew around, our thoughts around, it's not about really you. Very often it's our like как род сказать? Род.
Our ancestors.
Like ancestors' patterns
Mm-hmm.
that is bringing you to behave in a certain way, but it's not you. It's not
Okay.
yours. It doesn't
Yeah.
belong to you. You just
Okay.
you just get used to follow the patterns that someone had like inserted into your emotional and psychological field. It's not yours.
Yeah. So in this therapy, you can actually get to the source. You can actually find.
We are bringing person to a source. Yeah, whatever is pumping up in your mind very often, like some what is happening really, sometimes it's very so curious. We are calling it exploration. We do not know where it will bring you, where
Yeah.
we will, because the therapists are just the guide through they are guiding you through your own psychological field, and we never know where we get where we will
Okay.
find
But,
ourselves.
but
Even
that.
you, say, therapist, no one knows. And whatever is pumping up in your psychological, in your psychics, it's about this actually, like, what you have to notice in that very moment, what you have to understand in that very moment, what you are ready to understand in that very moment. Because with different issues, then you are exploring, and it's very interesting. And you understand that this situation just is a blessing to you, because of this situation, you see the real problem, the real trauma. And very often the situation itself is just the light.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. And does it happen sometimes that people actually regress to their childhood, for example, or their,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
Childhood, even other lives,
other
even
lives? Ah, okay.
lives that did not belong. Even you're not you. The thing is that you are not thinking.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah,
you're just you become a channeler. You yourself,
yes,
the client, become a channeler of something that is pumping up. You don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah. I got it.
Something that you're bringing up. Actually, we have like more or less 20-30 minutes of diagnosis. We are speaking about what is happening, what is bothering you, and then we are getting into your subconscious.
Okay, okay.
And then from the subconscious, you see things in such a perspective, and you understand you just understand things differently. And of course, you need time to integrate. You need time um, to live with this information and to deal with this. And sometimes, like, we are smiling with my colleagues, like, if when you saw from where it's coming, it doesn't mean that you already released and you already feel better. Sometimes you feel angry because, oh my god, I was living with this, why I didn't need that. Then you
Mm,
feel even angry, something is coming up, like, because you have to deal with this. But
right.
once you went through, it's not um, it's not your obstacle anymore to live a happy life, a different
Mm,
life, a new
right,
life.
right.
And you finally can create new patterns,
Mm-hmm.
like you create them, what you have decided right now, without these ancient patterns, your parents, your like grandmothers, grandfathers problems, traumas that someone have inserted into your mind. It's about you, your
Right.
life. It's about choice to live your life how you would like to live. And very often we are just blocked by ideas that are not ours. And the
Yes.
thing that has happened, it's not because of you.
Mm-hmm.
it's just like all things that kind of bad things. I would not call them bad things. All the traumas that are happening, you know, I was even today I was thinking about that. Thanks to one bad, let's call it bad situation. I don't want to open the topic about duality, that nothing is
Yes,
good and
yes,
bad,
yes,
but
yes.
let's call things how it's easier
Exactly.
to understand. Like one bad situation created for me two books
Mm-hmm.
with poems.
2 books
I,
with what?
I wrote two books with poems because of that
Wow,
bad situation. Is it
wow.
bad situation? I'm not sure. It's just something that brought me to have to create something new. So let us be thankful and think like not why it's happening with me. What is the reason that is happening? Like either we have to understand the source why
Mm-hmm.
it's happening, like
Yeah,
not why it's happening with me, other people do not suffer this way, no, why it's happening. Okay, let's explore what is inside of me that is creating the same patterns from so sometimes people are getting into the same situation, into the same troubles. It's not about bad life that is bad luck. No, it's about you that being victim, you attract this kind of situations finally to understand that you have to go out of this pattern of being
yeah.
victim. Like
Wow.
even me, for example, I was noticing we were doing kind of a small retreat of 4 days recently
Mm-hmm.
about this tantra retreat, emotional states. So it was very intensive, and I was noticing that people are receiving the same treatments from 10 different people. Why? It's not 10 different people that are bad. It's they are responding to your program,
Mm-hmm.
and you, by your program inside that you didn't heal yourself yet, you are calling them to treat you this way. you
Mm.
are you are calling them, please treat me this way, bad way, because
Yeah,
I finally need to understand that this is my program. I have to get rid of this program. It's
yes.
only about us. Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
have
Wow.
it's not about bad things that are happening. Like use these bad situations to create. Like I created two books. Wow, it's very good situation that happened to me.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing because the other day I was listening to a podcast of a guy who found himself in debt, like he owed a lot of money to another person, and yeah, and he also started writing books like that. That was the situation which pushed him, and now he has maybe 7 or 8 books that he has written, very good books, and yeah, but actually it was because of that situation that he started writing books. So it's really, really similar. That's
It's about awareness, you know, inner freedom, really to thank the world for what is happening. Now, other things are happening with me, and I'm looking, okay, what this situation that is causing me maybe some uncomfortable state, you know, what this situation wants me to like, what is bringing to me, what I'm doing thanks to this situation, and what is bringing to me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
It's
absolutely,
awareness. It's
absolutely,
awareness. To it's
absolutely.
inner freedom to choose either to be a victim or to be a like creator, because we are
Yeah,
all creators.
yes, absolutely.
But you have to see that you are a creator.
Yeah, Svetlana, and tell me, so people who are going to participate in this program, online program with Dr. Filonov, are they going to receive this therapy from you as a part of the program, or how it works?
uh, this therapy is very intense therapy. It's a private therapy, so
Ah,
it's not a group therapy. If someone
ah,
wants, we can do it like one to one in person, but
okay,
it's not
okay.
part. Of course, being both of us on this psychological in this psychological field, we are trying to implement different practices, different instruments that are helping people to be more aware about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
or to help them to release their emotions in a best possible way. So we are evolving, and really every time we are doing the program, we are implementing something new, because we are seeing what would be better to do, thanks to the example of the previous group, and we are growing.
Absolutely.
I adore what we do, because I really believe very much in awareness, in humanity. If we widespread, all of us, piece by piece, will be widespreading the awareness, by the end of the day, maybe it will happen the happy life for everyone.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So if I understood it the correct way, you kind of try to implement pieces of this practice, of different practices, into the retreat, but it's not. But the therapy itself, it's not the official part of it. Like, and if people are interested, they need to contact you and just schedule a personal meeting, right?
Yeah, because it's like 2-3 hours with each person, and it's
Yeah.
different treatment.
Yeah, and if people want to do it while fasting with Dr. Filonov, is it possible? Like, is it recommended to do this therapy while the process of fasting?
It will be very intense as well, because while fasting we are already releasing a lot of emotions, but I think it will be very deep as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Very.
So after we finish, we'll put your contact details, and if people are interested within the framework of Dr. Filonov's retreat, or just privately, like if a person is watching and they like you and they want to get this therapy from you, then we will just put your contact details below the video.
Yeah, would be nice. You know what we would like to do as well? We have this free master class that we will be doing with Dr. Filonov on 23 of August.
Yeah.
It's a free one. If you will be willing, we can share with everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can post the ad, the promotion in our groups, so and then people will know about that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always nice to hear Dr. Filonov. He is very busy man. Now he is doing retreat in Altai, and sometimes when we have this possibility to catch him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I also wanted to ask Elena, because you mentioned this term spiritual psychology. Now, I wanted to ask you the difference between spiritual psychology and the regular one.
Well, spiritual psychology was the term that was created by two American scholars, Ron and Mary Holnick. They are actually clinical psychologists, and they are based in Los Angeles. So they created a school, a University of Spiritual Psychology.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little that's a little brief about it. So the main thing that differs this school and this method is the spiritual part, is the fact that we are, all of us here are not people that come and die and that's it, but we are actually pure spiritual beings, that have human experience
Mm-hmm.
here, that we come here to experience things, to learn from the experience, to go through the experience. And actually that is the basic theme that goes through the whole method of spiritual psychology, that we are pure in our essence, that we are pure, that we haven't done anything wrong, that we are not polluted by these emotions, that in our essence we are actually pure. So from that standpoint, we recreate the whole picture of a being that has a human experience here. And so that's the main difference, that we have this spiritual component, that we
Okay.
are not humans, but we are spiritual beings having human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these professors, Ron and Mary Holnick, they taught us the clinical also methods, like many therapies, and psychosynthesis therapy and gestalt therapy, psychoanalysis. But all of these methods were reviewed by them and taught by them in the framework of this belief and this statement that we are we are pure beings, so we are not humans who are bad and angry and hateful and all of that. This is just the experience that we're having, and so that's the basic difference.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
this method is using all of these therapies, and it starts with when you do the session, you ask a client to first tune in with himself or herself, and to remember, or the recent experience, upsetting trigger or upsetting emotional experience that happened recently and that caused a reaction. So
Mhm.
we start from there, then we tune in with ourselves, and then we meditate, we'll do a short special guided meditation, and we do go back with our memory to the first time that we remember that we had similar experience. So for instance, if you feel angry with someone, felt angry yesterday or today, that you felt very, very angry with someone, then you could, with the help of meditation and specific tuning in and sort of like hypnosis, then you can remember the situation in the past that that you felt the same. So, and then
Mhm.
you start discussing this, you do gestalt therapy, you talk with your anger, you take it out of you, you put it in a chair, then you talk with your anger. Lots of
Right.
techniques, it's just one of them.
Right.
And then what most of the like most of psychology is based on this basic kind of feelings that we feel ourselves guilty. So it's a fear, it's guilt, and it's fear. And so and this spiritual method works because with the help of various techniques you realize that you are a pure being, that you are pure awareness, and that you have never done anything wrong, because you
Mhm.
cannot do anything wrong. You are this pure awareness that is observing, so that is observing this human experience. So
Mhm.
in your essence, so this question of guilt, this question of anger, that disappears, because when you truly realize, it's like an awakening. When you realize with all of these techniques, some real awakening happens to people. They realize who they truly are, and then all these feelings and emotions, of course, they dissolve, and you just you transform by this method. And I've seen a lot of transformations that were happening during my studies, and it was on many levels, on energetical level, on many levels. There were so many like
Mm. Amazing. So Elena, and do you actually provide sessions with people to people based on this
yes.
particular approach?
Yes, indeed. I have mastered this approach. Studied 3 years in Los Angeles, so I have a master diploma in spiritual
Mm-hmm.
psychology. So I do provide sessions. It's like a session, a coaching session, and therapeutical coaching session.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very so. And how long does each session like that last, or it's difficult to say?
It's difficult to say. I really never stop when we are in the process, we go in the process, we use different methods, we go into hypnosis, into meditation, into different, in this
Yeah,
case, I really am with the person. I really am with the
absolutely.
person until we both see the release, we both see the space, the relief. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely, absolutely. So, and if a person wants a session with you during Dr. Filonov's retreat, so is it the same as with Svetlana? Like they need to book a like private session?
during the doctor's Filonov's offline retreat, yes, because I will not be there even, it's physically even not possible. So it has to be an online session in
Yeah.
this case. But as for the online program that we have created with Svetlana and with Dr. Filonov, I implemented and included a lot of techniques that, like, of self-help, that are taken from the spiritual psychology world.
Mm,
So self-help techniques and self-help practices that you can take with you and implement by yourself.
Yeah, I see. I see. Okay, girls. So I think that's the time to wrap it up because it's probably really, really late where you are. It's probably after 11 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Almost.
yeah, yeah. And it's been
Can I
close to.
ask can I ask a question
Okay,
about
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
okay, about you said you work with the subconscious. So how do you work with the subconscious? Like it's different from the formal psychology where you just analyze it um, intellectually. I mean, how do you get into the subconscious in order to work, on the subconscious? What you just said about
Uh, you know, when you are analyzing, you are using your mind. When you are getting into the sensations, and you are not speaking about the situations, telling the stories, always the same stories, right? Because when you're going to therapists, these stories are never-ending stories for
recycling,
years.
recycling the same
When you
material.
are connected with your body and with your feelings, and you are stop telling the same stories, there are some techniques. You are just releasing what is pumping up, but the questions that are done are not following what you came with exactly. They are a little bit kind of regressive questions, like with a regressive it's not about hypnosis but regressive situations. So in that case, your mind is tricked, and your mind is not anymore on like in the present. It's just like it's following your sensations, and it's kind of helping to express what you are feeling. So this is kind of subconscious, because our body and our sensations are never lying, and they want to express themselves, and this is going through the subconscious way. But your mind is not analyzing anymore, because it's impossible to analyze what you are starting to say. Like, yes, on the background you start to understand the things from where things are coming, because you start to see the subconscious field. You're not analyzing the present situation. It's like yeah. Let's do one session and you will see how it works.
Okay, that the session you spoke about.
Yeah, because you will see that actually it's all connected to body and sensations, and then the subconscious is coming up. We are not discussing the same situation, absolutely. On the contrary, if person want to come back to the situation, back to the body, back to the sensations, and there are some tricks how to escape the mind, how to escape the analysis. There are some tricks.
Interesting. Okay, so if the session you're talking about, that would be nice to see what it's.
Yeah, it's different type. Definitely, it will go out, because they this academy, they are working to go out of to international market as well, step by step, for sure. They will be doing it worldwide. Now there are a lot of Russians in different countries. I remember in America as well, in England. So there are as well in England, there are English speaking therapists as well of this session. So me like included, but still it's not so well known worldwide. But they will,
It's
because
related to quantum psychology. That's related to quantum psychology. Is that the same or?
it's a little bit, it's all the same but treated in different way. I would say this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
okay, girls. So then we'll put your contact details below the video, and then if people want to contact you either for private sessions, personal sessions, or to participate in the retreat, I guess they can also contact you if they want also to participate in the retreat with Dr. Filonov, right?
Yeah, sure, sure. Because now we have a new master class. It's next Tuesday. It's a free master class that we're inviting everyone. Then
Yes.
the next online program starts on 5 of September. It will last 21 days, and then I will be myself present in-person retreat in Montenegro with Dr. Filonov. It will be from 1st up to 12th October. So many things are happening.
Excellent.
We are doing a lot of things, yeah.
Excellent. So you can send me your contact details and I will put them below the video. And you can also send me different updates and then I will put them in the group. And guys, so if you're watching this video and this idea of abstaining from food for 24 hours a week appeals to you, you will find also my WhatsApp number. My name is Arik. I'm the moderator of this group. So you're welcome to send me a message with your name and I will happily add you. And okay, so Svetlana and Elena, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was
Time
fun.
flies with you.
Absolutely, like with you as well. Yeah, it was so it's so much fun. Absolutely, absolutely. And we will keep in touch and I look forward to having more webinars with you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.